Okay, so today we're going to continue with elimination. So first of all, if we're looking at these, which ones are going to cancel, the x's or the y's?
The y's.
The y's. How do we know it's the y's?
Because they're the same number.
Yeah, so they got a 3 and 3. Okay, so those are going to cancel. How do we know if we're going to add or subtract them? When do we get to add them together? When they have different signs. So if it's a positive 3 and a negative 3, then we add them together. If they're the same sign, what do we have to do? Subtract them. So do these have the same or different signs? Different signs. So we can add them together. Okay, so, and we add straight down. What is 2 plus 7? 9x. 3 plus negative 3 is 0, so it cancels. Okay, so the y's are going to cancel. Negative 22 plus 4. Negative 19? No. Negative 18? Sounds better. Okay, and then if we're looking at this, what needs done now? Divide by 9. And so my x equals negative 2. Okay? From there, what do we do next?
So we choose whichever.
We choose an equation, either equation 1 or equation 2. Which one do you want to use? 1. Okay, so we choose equation 1 and we're going to write it down. Okay, so that's 2x plus 3y equals negative 22. Okay, and then what are we going to do? Erase the x and put what? Negative 2. Okay, so right here should be negative 2 in parentheses. Okay, so right here goes negative 2. Okay, because we found the x. Okay, and so from there, Tristan, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. From there, we're going to multiply. So 2 times negative 2 is going to be negative 4. Negative 4 plus 3y equals negative 22. Okay, who's the kid that needs dropped off?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. So how do I move a minus 4? Add 4 to both sides. So I'm going to get 3y equals what? What is negative 22 plus 4?
Negative 18.
Negative 18. And divide by 3. So we get y equals negative 6. Okay, and then what do we do?
Negative 2, comma, negative 6.
Good, we gotta write it as a coordinate. Right? And so our coordinate goes x comma y, so negative 2 comma negative 6.
Yeah. So if it's the same, so even if it's plus and plus, that means you're still going to subtract since it's the same?
Yeah. Well, because if you have so if you think about it, what is a positive 2 and a positive 2, if we add them together, what's 2 plus 2? 4. A positive 2, and if we have a negative 2 and we add them together, 0. So they have to be, otherwise when you just add them, they're just going to, yeah, it's not going to cancel out.
Okay.
Okay, look at 3. First of all, I'm going to put a 1 here and a 1 here. Okay, what's going to cancel, x's or y's? X's. How do we know it's x's?
Because they got the same number.
They got the same number. Okay, are the signs the same or different?
Same.
The same, which means we need to do what?
Subtract.
Subtract. Okay, so we got to subtract. So there are 2 ways. The way that I prefer is you're going to change all the signs on the second equation, and then you can actually just add them together. So this is a positive 1, so we're going to change it to a negative 1. Okay, this is a negative 7, so we're going to change it to a positive 7. And this is a positive 4, so we're going to put a negative 4. And now we can add them together. Okay? So on subtraction, you're going to change all the signs in the second one and then add them together. So 1 plus negative 1 is 0. Negative 4 plus 7, 3y. And 1 plus negative 4, negative 3. Okay, and then we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. So we get y equals negative 1. Thank you. Okay, now what? There is one rule when we put them back in. What is it? Choose the top one. Why do we have to choose the top one on this one?
If you choose the bottom, you have to restart all of them.
Yes, okay, so you have to pick an original equation, not anything changed. So like the second one, we changed a bunch of the signs. So you have to like erase all this and use a plain one, okay? So if we use the top one, we didn't change anything. So I got 1x minus 4y equals 1. Who's getting plugged in? The y for negative 1. Okay, so this is going to be negative 1 right here for the y. Okay, so we're going to get 1x plus 4 equals equals 1. And then what?
Then you minus 4.
Minus 4 from both sides. So we get 1x equals negative 3. And divide by 1. So we get x equals negative 3. Okay, and so my coordinate is going to be what?
Negative 3 and negative 1.
Good. How many are on the back of this page? Let me see.
4. And then we'll finish it tomorrow.
I don't know. Well, just be patient. What's your rush?
Right. That should not do work.
If you love math, just say that. Can I scroll?
Yeah.
Okay, 5. Who's gonna cancel x's or y's? X's. Okay, we can add or subtract them. Add them because they're different signs. So 7 plus 3 is gonna be 10y. 7 plus 3 is 10. Then we're gonna divide by 10 on both sides. So we get y equals 1. Okay, and then we can write down our top equation, which is 8x plus 7y equals 7. And what am I plugging into, the x or the y? The y, because it's already solved. Okay, so right here we're going to erase and put a 1 instead. Okay, so I got 8x plus 7 equals 7. We're going to minus 7 from both sides. So I got 8x equals 0. And then we divide by 8 on both sides, so we get x equals 0. What is my coordinate?
0, 1.
0, 1. Somebody agree? Okay, 7. Are we going to add or subtract? We're going to add or subtract?
Subtract.
Subtract. And what's going to cancel? The y's. Okay, so what is my 6x going to become? Negative 6x. What about the 2? Negative 2. What about the 8? Negative 8. Okay, and then we can add them together. So 4 plus negative 6.
0.
Negative 2x.
Does it matter?
2 plus negative 2.
Does it matter which one?
What do you mean?
Like which one you do the minus?
No.
So whatever one I want.
Yeah.
And then
2 plus negative 2 is 0. 8 plus negative 8. 0. And then you're going to divide by negative 2. So we get x equals 0. Okay, Oscar, if you choose to do the top one and change it, then which one do you have to plug into?
So I just do the top one?
Mhm.
What do you mean?
So if you choose to change all the signs on the top one, when you go to plug back in, which one do you need to use?
The bottom one?
The bottom one, because you haven't changed anything. So when we plug back in, you have to use something that has not been edited at all. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so be very careful, because I always say, oh, pick the top one, but the reason I say pick the top one is because we always change the bottom. Which is fine, even when you're going to plug back in and you use the other equation, you're gonna get the exact same y that I'm gonna get, regardless of which equation you pick. Because on any of the problems, he could have did the first one and Nor could have did the second one. Either way, we should still get the same coordinate of, on the previous problem, 0, 1, or whatever. Okay, am I gonna plug in the x or the y? X. Okay, so 4 times 0 is gonna be 0 plus 2y equals 0. Okay, then we're gonna subtract 0 from both sides. So it's gonna be 2y equals 0. And then divide by 2. So what is my coordinate? 0, 0. What should all of the coordinates be less than? 10. Okay, can they be positive or negative? Does it matter? Yeah, they can be either one, it does not matter, but they should be less than 10. Can you get a decimal?
No.
No. Okay, so if you get something that's bigger than a 10 or a decimal, please let me know and I will look at it. Don't go eraser crazy because it may just be like, oh, you should have a negative, 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 and then your thing's fixed, okay? So don't go eraser crazy. Okay, what I want you to do is rip the 2 pages apart, throw the 1 away, okay, and you guys are just going to have 1 through 8 to do, okay? So you have 4 to do. So throw the back one away, we're not even going to do it.